I'm not saying it's anywhere the same because what Ronaldo R9 did in No, stop.
Don't bring that look, come on, don't bring David bring Ronaldo's name, man.
Listen.
Respect that name.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Nazari, guy was 21 in 98. 21 in 98.
Listen.
20 was carrying the whole nation at 21 in 98.
How old
carrying? That whole squad was fire.
No. 21.
But listen. Listen what I'm saying.
That's okay. Why did you have to mention this guy's name, man? I didn't have to go.
Listen what I'm saying. It's the international break, hence why I'm donning my international jersey, Brazil, of course, for the best player in the world, Neymar.
No. No. I can't let you just have that. I can't just let you have that.
Let's just keep it.
Okay, alright, fine. that probably World Cup flop. The same guy that's faked an injury to leave Mbappe by himself for PSG, man. Nah, man, that guy, nah.
There's a lot of.
He was actually injured, but.
Oh yeah, sure.
He just didn't miss like 3 months for
Yeah.
So, what happened to the new shades? It's fresh.
No. I told you, no BS, man. You can't just mention Neymar and I won't respond because what that guy did to the prodigy. Nah, man, I'm not having.
Sorry, so you're blaming Neymar for PSG bottling.
70%, 60% of the blame is his. 20% is that fool called Buffon who should have already retired already. How you're 40 years old and you make a mistake like that in a major game? I've not retired. Nah, man, class A break, man.
Listen,
so
Neymar's proved himself time and time again, isn't it? Man's injured, isn't it? What can he do? He's injured.
Wait, no.
It happens.
So remind me. So Neymar has won a Copa America for Brazil.
No, he's won the Olympics.
So Neymar has won a World Cup or a Copa America for Brazil.
No, he hasn't.
So the Olympics is like a major.
No, but he's
major. Okay, no, because the last I checked, I thought
he's won the Champions League.
I thought Copa America and World Cup was how we're trying to roll in 2019.
He's won the Champions League.
Like I told you don't have to win to be proven.
Yo, this is a Brazilian shirt. This is a Barcelona shirt.
I'm just saying, I'm saying Neymar speaks for himself, isn't it?
Go to Brazil. Nobody respects Neymar in Brazil. If he walks on the streets in Brazil, he'll get robbed. No. Romario can walk in the streets. Rivaldo can walk in the streets. Dino can walk in the streets. Let Neymar walk in those streets. He'll get robbed.
Listen.
He'll get robbed.
We need to remember. We're not gonna press the topic, but 2014, the World Cup in Brazil. Mm-hmm. He turned up in that World Cup. Don't forget,
1,000%.
He turned up.
1,000%.
Then he got the cruel injury against Colombia.
Yeah.
And of course, Brazil's World Cup fell apart.
Okay.
But it's simple, and I'm not saying it's anywhere the same because what Ronaldo R9 did in stop.
Don't bring that look, come on, don't bring David bring Ronaldo's name, man.
Listen.
Respect that name.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Nazari, guy was 21 in 98. 21 in 98.
Listen.
20 was carrying the whole nation at 21 in 98.
How old
carrying? That whole squad was fire.
No. 21.
But listen. Listen what I'm saying.
That's okay. Why did you have to mention this guy's name, man? I didn't have to go.
Listen what I'm saying. Ronaldo got injured he had a apparent illness before the 98 final. Brazil got
spasm.
Oh yeah, Brazil got battered 3-0. You don't blame Ronaldo for it. He did his bit up until what happened the night before the final. Neymar did his bit. No, I'm not saying to the same level as Ronaldo, but he turned up in the 2014 World Cup up to the point he got injured. You can't blame him that David Luiz and co couldn't hold off Germany and got spanked 7-1 at home. He did his bit. Now going into the 2018 World Cup, he wasn't even fit because he was injured for around the same period.
A game before.
Yeah, he did. Oh, damn.
Anyway, the guy is young. He's still got time to prove himself in it, so we'll see where he goes. But as I said, international break. There's always a lot still to talk about. Anyway, England, they won 5-0 against Czech Republic. I mean, it's not the same Czech Republic as you.
The same Czech Republic, man. Okay, this is in 2004, bro.
But Raheem Sterling, hat trick. The guy just keeps getting better and better. Do we think, is he England's best player?
Oh man, I love...
Yes. This is the shortest Arsenal.
See, for me, my thing is this, is that, look, let's go in. It's 2019. I say, look, I can say whatever the hell I want. So like, I don't give a damn. Harry Kane. Now, whenever I talk about Harry Kane, the thing about Harry Kane is this. Harry Kane is who England wants their face of their whole country to be. He is, the captain. That is the face of what they want it to be. What you want isn't necessarily what it is. When it comes to football, it's what it is. Harry Kane is the goal scorer. That guy is a damn good goal scorer. If I'm a defender, I'm not afraid of Harry Kane. If I'm
You must be afraid of him. He scores goals. Like, he must know how to I don't know, beat a defender to a ball or a cross or whatever it is.
But no.
So
His goals are poachers' goals. Basically, same thing with like a Gary Lineker or a Gerd Muller or a Van Nistelrooy. You're not afraid of them. You are wary of them. You're not afraid of them.
Maybe they need to be afraid, because if they were more afraid, they might be able to stop them from scoring another goal.
No. But it's one of those things of where like Raheem Sterling, the reason why you're more afraid of him is because of his speed, his skill, his technique, and how he can pull defenders apart just because of the mixture of speed, skill, technique, and a footballing brain. Harry Kane doesn't have the same kind of skill sets, technique, and ability to pull defenders out that Sterling. He doesn't have the same explosiveness that Sterling has. So if I'm a defender, Sterling's the kind of guy that can run at you, pull you sideways, pull skills, and just create space off his own back. Harry Kane is very good at linking up play and very good at finishing off. So as a defender, I just need to just be wary of him. But the guy that I'm like, man.
No, you still be afraid of him, because then in your head you're thinking, if I make one mistake, chances are
he's gonna score. If I give him too much space,
you're having the contract for the whole 90 minutes, thinking, I can't make a mistake. I can't let him
No.
go here.
But it's not fear. It's weariness. Like basically, if I'm a manager and I'm an opposing team, I'll say to my guys, watch out for Harry Kane. This guy's a goal scorer, so just be wary. But I'll say to my guys, that's Raheem Sterling, because that is the guy that will create havoc for us because of the skills that he has. So if you're a manager, you say, no, Raheem Sterling, watch for that guy, because that guy's speed mixed with skill, that is danger for any
in terms
defender.
of Harry Kane, I know a lot of people have said, he's just a goal scorer, but he's not just a goal scorer. And when you think about it,
goal scoring was his weakest attributes before.
Who? Harry Kane?
No, sorry.
Harry Kane.
Oh, Kane.
Harry Kane's not just a goal scorer, because even I've seen this season where, especially at the start of the season, where Pochettino was playing Moura, and I think it was mainly Moura further forward than Harry Kane, and then he was dropping deep a lot, and it affected me in my fantasy because man wasn't scoring the amount of goals that he used to. But even in the England game, the first goal was him. He dropped back, played a brilliant through ball through to Jadon Sancho, who crossed it for Sterling. So I'm like, you know what, Harry Kane, he's a brilliant goal scorer. That can't be doubted. But I think there's actually more to his game than he's given credit for.
But for me, I think with Harry Kane, like, I always just use the eye test. Like, I think Harry Kane technically is very good, and I think his hold-up play and how he brings in guys is very good. But when I look at him, I don't think of like, oh no, this guy is a very good football player. Like, I just think like, he's efficient, great goal scorer, but for instance, when you look at someone like a Sergio Aguero, you're like, nah, this guy's a very good football player. Or you look at like a Messi, he's a very good football player.
But is it to do with how they look? And the reason why I say that, you look at someone like Thomas Muller.
Oh yeah,
but
not a good football player. Very effective.
But if people say, if we were like, what's he actually strong at? He's not very quick. He's not very, but he's effective. So maybe he is a very good football player. It just doesn't look good on the eye. But the fact is, he's moving into space. He's picking up pockets. He's dropping deep. He's going short, and he can finish.
Oh no! Basically, for me, this is the example I always use. If we're playing in the park, and look at
Harry, I might have to pick Harry Kane first because you know he's going to get goals.
No. But let's just say we're just playing in the park. If I see a Harry Kane, I'll be like, oh no, that guy is just very effective. I wouldn't think that he's one of the best players on the pitch. If I look at a Jadon Sancho, I'm like, no, that guy's one of the best players on the pitch. But again, maybe it's just how I view things. If I look at Sterling, but Sancho is the guy who say no. Because for me, Sancho, that's England's golden boy. That is England's golden boy. 18, and that guy has that kind of skill set.
I don't know about that.
Okay, who's the golden boy?
Sterling. What do you mean?
When I say golden boy, I mean that golden child that you want to cradle, man. That kind of thing, man. You know what I'm saying? No, Sterling is like, he's the best player. Golden child is like that little child, man. That kid, man. What I'm saying, man. He's the golden child.
Alright. Speaking of golden childs, golden children.
Good film actually. Eddie Murphy, 80s, ever seen the film? Golden Child.
No, I haven't.
Eddie Murphy, good film.
Decent. Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, that's your boy, isn't it? Chelsea fan. You got called up. What's your thoughts on him being called up to the England squad, first and foremost?
You see, like, for me, you have to look at Sarri. So, Mauricio Sarri, his whole narrative has been he's too young, he's not ready yet. The world-class talents of Pedro and Willian are far better than him, so that's why they're playing ahead of him.
I missed that part. Repeat that part.
The world-class talents of Pedro and Willian, top 3 in the world, those world-class talents are apparently better than Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's Sarri speaking, not Double H. So, but then Southgate then picks it. So then you then think back and say, so how does that now look? If Southgate deems this guy good enough to actually be in the England setup, but he's not good enough to have more games, because basically the whole thing was saying, wait a minute, how are you calling a guy up who has hardly played any Premier League games and the bits past games
but that's for me. I personally, and I said it on the last podcast briefly, I didn't even go into it, but we can go into it now. I actually think, big up Callum Hudson-Odoi. Anyone gets called up for their national team, the boy's talented. I think he deserves to play more games for Chelsea. But for me, the call-up's a disgrace. Now, the reason why I say that, and I'm not talking about, it's not to do with him as an individual, because he's a quality player. But he hasn't started a Premier League game. It's as absurd, maybe not as, but it's up there with Sven-Goran Eriksson taking Theo Walcott to the World Cup.
It's not.
They have not. They've all played games. If arguably Theo Walcott had played more senior games before going to the World Cup than Hudson-Odoi has senior games for Chelsea.
But my thing is,
how is he getting called? Because national football is supposed to be the highest level of football. You can't even get into your club team.
No.
Yeah, you're going to the national team.
Which is why that this makes Sarri look like a fool, because everybody. Because trust me, when you're picking these teams, you're looking at everything. Because whenever these coaches, they have the tape of every minute that this person has played, and Southgate has said that. Every single time this guy has played, this guy looks really good. And remember, when you're doing these friendlies, you're looking at the big picture. Because you're looking at plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and everything.
Well, that wasn't a friendly, by the way. I believe that was a qualifier.
Oh, yeah, qualifier. Okay, yeah.
Qualifier,
so basically, so in his mind is because like when he's looking at Callum Hudson-Odoi, okay, this is a winger who's very direct, can cross, can get to the byline, is young. Now, when I'm now combining that with what Sancho has, and I'm now trying to build a team that has that kind of speed and directness. This is a guy who maybe if I can bring on, can give me that extra bit of speed in the last 15 minutes. All of these tools have all been there. Whether he started the game or not, he has these attributes. So that speaks to how talented the guys that Santos has deemed that, no, this guy's skill set from what little I've seen is good enough for me to at least, let's just try him out.
But Kyle, how long does that last for? Like, if he still fails to get into the Chelsea team, he's still, and let's say next season he remains at Chelsea and still can't get in the team because he's got 1 year left on his contract. Can Southgate, is it right that he keeps calling him up over players who are getting into the teams? Let's say, for example, I don't know what the situation was with Jesse Lingard, because he obviously has been in the England side consistently throughout Southgate. And he did play the last Man United game before international break, so I was surprised that he didn't get called up. There may be some in terms of fitness issues, I'm not 100% sure. But you think about people like Maddison, who hasn't been called up, and there could be a number of other players as time goes by. If he's not playing, or any player is not playing for their club, is it right that the international team just calls them up and overlooks players who week in, week out are putting in performances for their club?
No, I personally, I genuinely think it's unfair. But if you think about it, like, I don't blame him, because he said himself that the players that he selected, especially the young players, he chose these players because he's only going to pick these players that he sees has a future for England under him, basically. Like, he doesn't see, like, a player like Maddison, for example, could fit in his team, in his system. So he's only picking players that can fit in his system. And if Hudson-Odoi is, like, the next best behind Sterling and Sancho, whatever, to fit that system, then he's going to call him up. And I think the second part, which he didn't speak on, which for me, I think it was more of like a ploy, like I'm going to call him up because Chelsea have a transfer ban. They're not going to sign players, so the likelihood of him being sold to like Bayern or whoever wants to buy him is going to be low because they're not going to be able to buy to replace him because they have to transfer ban. So if I call him up, it puts the impetus on Sarri or whoever may be the new coach if he gets sacked, whatever, or whoever is at the head of Chelsea, to play him. Because if he can get called up for England and he must be good enough for England, he must be good enough for Chelsea. Because think about it like this, right? When you're playing Football Manager, do you ever call up players that are in the best form? It could be the deadest players playing for Reading and they're in serious form. Like it could be a Solomon Rondon, for example. I don't know. Someone that's got 20 goals in 15 games, but you're picking the person with the biggest hexagon or the most potential. You're like, if I play this guy and get him better, he can be a consistent for me. And I think that's how he's looking at it. Like, if I call him up and I can get him to play for me and hopefully get him some first-team games at Chelsea by doing this, we can improve him at a faster rate. And
so is the pressure now on Sarri to play him? He goes back to after the national break. He can't just keep sticking. Willian don't even get called up for Brazil.
Exactly.
Pedro, he don't get called up for Spain.
No, it doesn't.
Like, surely there must be pressure on Sarri now to pick.
Next Chelsea game, Willian or Pedro?
They probably would.
So that guy's mad. That guy's
He might have to drop Hazard to get Hudson-Odoi.
Easy.
I mean, Higuain don't get called up for Argentina, but Jude can still make the first team for France. Jude can't get game. Jude still can't get game by Chelsea.
Sarri's. Oh yeah. You know, that actually just done to me so many minutes. So Pedro doesn't get called up. Willian doesn't get called up. Higuain doesn't get called up, and he's overweight. But these guys are bona fide starters on the. Sorry, wow, damn. Yeah, I just clocked that now. Damn, wow.